Hey, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the Brown Gent. In this video, we're going to talk about SocialFi, this sort of brand new, sort of social mechanism to earn a ton of airdrops. Now, we're going to get into it, talk a bit about the concept, a bit about the barriers, things that can help you out. Hopefully, you'll leave with a bit of a strategy on how you can capitalize within these platforms because they have proven to be somewhat lucrative, at least in the past. So let's get into it. But before we do, just remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy on YouTube. So please do your own research before you do anything. That being said, we do have a private group. We have over 100 members. If you're interested in getting extra coaching, guidance, and support, you can join the 100 or so people who love being part of the Web3 Secret Society. Link for that is in the description below. Now, the first thing I just want to talk about is the concept of SocialFi, the concept of exactly what this is all about. And most of this will center around Twitter. They're rebranded as X, but it doesn't matter. The idea here is it's really proof of attention. That's what I've been hearing all of this time. And the way that these things work is by engaging with posts that include various tickers, various Twitter accounts. This is what will help you rank up much more significantly. So the most common thing I hear around SocialFi and getting involved in these campaigns is, I don't want to be that person who goes around spamming. I don't want to be that person who just starts talking nonsense, putting a bunch of tickers in there. Well, I'm going to talk to you a bit about how you can reduce you feeling that way. At the end of the day, there will always be an essence of you feeling this way. And you've really got to ask yourself, hey, this is not going to be a long time. There's a significant amount of money to be made if you do this properly. I think back to Portal Gaming, which was probably the first one that came out. It was going on last summer. I did the most minimal thing for that exact reason. I did not want to spam. I did not want to do all these things. When the Portal airdrop came out and my friends who were doing it, which when I look back at what they were doing, now that I'm out of it, I was kind of like, well, it wasn't really spam. These guys got 4 figures, 5 figures. There was another protocol as well that I didn't get involved in, and they got 5 figures. So really, like, I see a lot of people doing test nets and they're doing tons of transactions. If you think back to Metis, people spent hundreds of hours pushing transactions, getting these helmets. They got nothing. But literally here, proof of concept, they just continue to show that, hey, they will give you points, that will give you tokens. Now, one more thing I do want to say is there is an inherent advantage to people who have big followings. So if you got a big following, I think you have a significant advantage over somebody else. That being said, I will talk a bit about what you can do if you're sort of, a small person on Twitter, you got like 20 followers. How do you get that engagement? How do you get people to engage with you? And we'll talk about that in just a second, because this is a very social dynamic thing. And while you may not get as much as the people who have like 100K subs, because that's just reality, right? You can still earn like maybe a couple $100, maybe a couple $1,000. Who knows, right? It really depends on how heavily farmed certain things are. And even now, there's a perception that, oh, by doing this, you devalue yourself. So we're going to talk about that in a second, but let me just walk you through some of the things you can do right now to get started. Now, the first thing I'll talk about is going through a protocol called Every World. Now, Every World is over. This is something that I've talked about before, but I just wanted to give you an idea of exactly what this will look like near the end. So Every World, just like everything else here, had two basic concepts. To get these social points, you had to either interact with a tag that was $every, or putting their @join every world. Always with these social protocols, as with everything else, if you've got a Discord, I recommend you join it. I recommend you follow them on Twitter. In Discord, you can actually put all of the SocialFi Discords together, so you can look at all of them at once. That's sort of my thing that I do, I always group Discords together to make it easier to sort through. So you find out exactly what's going on. And anytime in the past that you had liked, retweeted, commented, all those kind of things, you would get points for doing that. And obviously you want other people to do the same things to yours, because it elevates your post, right? The more engagement you get on social media, the more people see it. So that's the basic tenet. Now, they had posted on April 5th that they've done the snapshot and you can actually see your allocation. Prior to that, they wanted to make sure everybody got the necessity things out of the way. So if you go to Everyworld, typically these protocols, the first thing you want to do is you want to sign up. All the links are in the description below. I put my referral code in there. Obviously, if you're interested, please use my link to sign up. It definitely helps me out. If you want to show gratitude for me making this video. If not, you can just delete the back half of it and just go to the app directly and not credit me. I'm cool with that too. Don't worry about it. I'm not making this video to show referral links. Don't get me wrong here. I want you guys to know exactly what's going on, because this is something that I think is a limited time opportunity. It's really the first few that really will be profitable. And then I think as time goes on, all of these will get over diluted as people realize, wait a second, forget pride. I want $5,000. You know what I mean? So you go in here, you do the asks, and sometimes or every time it will ask you to connect your Twitter. I can't do that right now because I've already done it. But trust me, when you go to sign up, it will ask you to do that. In the case of Everyworld, they had some other asks. So for example, you had to connect your X account. So easily, we talked about that. Playing the game in this case was literally just doing the social engagement, connecting your ETH wallet. So here's one thing that I would recommend. Connect a burner wallet here, because the idea here is they will airdrop to that. And you might as well just connect your burner wallet. So I connected a wallet ending with CC7, which obviously you guys are like, wait a second, that's not the one ending with an 8 that Brown Gent always shares. That's why. In this case, we did have to do KYC, so I did it. And then they said, make sure you earn 10,000 points. I got about 13,000 points through this thing. So what I could do is, if I click on this now, I see that I've got 500 every token, and I will get that on April 15th. So be great. Free 500 every token. Don't know how much that's going to be, but I think that's somewhat worth it, especially since I didn't put any of my own funds in this. So why not? The next one, and one that is coming up to end quickly. So if you haven't started, probably too late for you to do it. But for those of you who are in it, just remember the snapshot literally gets taking place sometime this morning, right? It's currently 1 a.m. here in Toronto on April 8th. But if you haven't signed up, maybe you can get in there. I have no idea. I probably think it's probably too late. But there is an aspect here. So if you go to block, right, what people don't know is you want to make sure that when you go to your airdrop here, so once you've signed up, it tells you how many points you got, right? This thing updates every 7 days. I really hope I got more than 31K, because I've been posting a bunch of posts with block. I connected some wallets here and everything, right? So I connected an Aptos wallet. I connected my burner Ethereum wallet here. But you also want to do all the extra tasks. So there's a ton of tasks down here when you first start. A lot of these things will have tasks like follow this Twitter, tweet this thing, like this post, whatever. You get a bunch of points, right? That's the engage and extra. I got 2,000 from that. There's also some points you get for playing games. I got a 2x for being an early adopter. So that was from the start. There's this dice thing. I don't think it's worth it. You got to buy an NFT that's worth like thousands of dollars. Once again, for me, SocialFi, the way you game it is you put no money in. That's the way you do it, because literally it becomes so easy to measure the lucrativeness. By going to social, once again here for block, it was really put the $ block and at get block games. So here's one thing I do want to say. Everyone the last week was being like clowning on me for not including block in multi-post tickers. But I'll be straight up with you. These people are either really stupid or they have no idea what's going on, because people will be like, I can't believe you're not talking about block. How are you missing this? And I'm like, if I put block in here, literally it would have been a wasted ticker, because it would literally not count. because they tell you if you put multiple tickers with block, it won't happen. It's sort of a loyalty thing. So if you're wondering why I always put block separately from everything else, this is exactly it, with some exceptions. You want to make sure before the snapshot takes place that you go to complete profile, and there is a couple things. One, you want to link your X account, which obviously you're doing. You want to connect your Ethereum account, which I showed you, like a burner wallet. You want to activate one game. So one of the things you can do here is when you're on this, you can actually scan a QR code. I don't have crypto on my phone. I'm very careful. I have everything behind hardware wallets and whatever. So there's no risk for me doing that. So when I do it, I activated the game. I got this thing called Farm Jam. That was the game that I did. So you can see it here. I'm at level 5. So that's a challenge I had to do. You don't see it here, but it takes up to 2 days to update. But I guess my argument, if they try to do anything and they say, hey, snapshot was taken, it's like, well, I did do it before the date. The challenge takes 2 days to sync on this platform. So if you haven't done this yet, just do it. I think this might be a criteria that stops you regardless of how many points you have. Don't know. We'll find out. And hopefully this will also multiply kind of my points here. That'd be great. Now, to things that you can do, right? Because one last thing I do want to talk about Block Games is they actually also did a pre-sale of their token. So this is another thing. Like the pre-sale was literally impossible to get in. You had to bid a couple times. I bid a bunch, did not get an allocation, so be it. And then you basically get a refund and everything else. It was oversubscribed by 770%. So for those of you who do get Block token, it will be in high demand, right? I've talked to you guys about this before. Oversubscriptions are a fantastic proxy on demand because that tells you that 7 out of 8 people didn't get the tokens they wanted. So I think I saw the block price was $1.50 or $1.60 in the pre-market. It could be way higher. And imagine just getting a ton of this for doing this block stuff. So the next one I want to talk about is Bubble, and this is actually my pick for the #1 SocialFi. If you guys go and check out their website, you check out their actual Twitter, so Imaginary Ones, Bubble is their kind of program. They've even got an app called Bubble Rangers. Bubble Rangers is really like their version of Subway Surfers. If you've ever played that game or if you ever watch TikTok videos, it's usually the one playing in the background as things are going on. Same thing as always. You tag Bubble, and you can tag Imaginary One, engage, earn social points or interactions, refer a friend. If you want to use my referral link, feel free to. You get social points. They equal Bubble airdrops, right? More social points you have, the bigger your airdrops are. No limit. Great, right? They do have bonus multiple tiers and all that as you go on. Obviously, you need a Twitter account and you want to sign up. So just if you look at this, like everything else looks so ghetto. Like just go back. Like no offense to Every World, no offense to Block, but like when you look at Bubble Gaming, you look at actually what they're doing, you're like, wow, this is actually something that looks prime, like absolutely prime. And I think that it is likely going to be the one that will do really well. This is the one I really want to. So hopefully, even if I get Bubble token or if I can't get it, I will be buying these tokens because if I have to just bet on like kind of roadmap, how it looks, aesthetics, and like they've got the best game too. Like it's very addictive. It'll be great. So once again, tagging Bubble, commenting, retweeting, liking, you get social points by doing that. And they get awarded every week. So like, once again, I hope this comes up a bunch because I've done a bunch of posts and that's how it goes. So once again, you get 10K for every person you refer. So like I said, would really appreciate if you use my links. Not a requirement by any means. As always, you want to go in here, look at the tasks, do these tasks. These tasks, the really cool thing is a lot of these tasks, it doesn't check. So you'll open it up and it'll just go and you can just hit the check mark without having to actually do the things. So very interesting. You can get a bunch of points by just doing all of this. And then our task engagement and referral points go toward the base social points. So right now I'm at cupcake tier. I want to get to hamburger tier, which is 1.5 million, right? So that's one. That's my favorite one. Param's another good one. This is another one that's still going on. You got a bunch of time to get through it. Param is very similar. You go in here, the tokenomics are out here, so you can see here exactly what's going on, right? So you see 55% goes to the ecosystem and community initiatives, right? Like I believe that there's so here, like at TGE, whatever tokens you get 10% of them. The rest of it vests over 50 months. So be it. I'm okay with it. Once again, we're getting all this for free. Remember, guys, this is so much better than testnets. Testnets are hit and miss, and we've seen, like we saw with Satoshi VM, we saw this with Metis. It doesn't matter how much you do. They like, well, we're only gonna give 5% of the people something, and the people who are like really bought it and stuff seem to be the ones who get it. And I've really been off testnets, but hey, once again, this is like very good to help you in getting a bunch of free liquidity. So I think you'd be sleeping on it by not doing this. Now, you can't stake yet, it's not available, but you can go and earn points. So once again, it's just loading up here. What? I don't know why it's doing this, but basically I'm going to refresh the page again. What you can earn through this, once again, multiple ways. So number one, it's through the referral program. That's obviously good. Another thing is you can do a bunch of tasks. So you can come on here and you can literally go through this and check what tasks are available, do the tasks, and then confirm them once it's done, and it adds to your points. Once again, I believe this gets updated every 7 days. I hope my points are higher than 15K. But yeah, it's nice. I got 51 referrals so far. Some of this is from the Web3 Secret Society because I really haven't posted this stuff before. I really wanted to bring this to you guys because I think this is a massive opportunity. Once again, if you want to use my link, feel free. I don't ask or I don't require that you do it. Just I want you guys to sort of feel comfortable with exactly what you got to do. So this is Para, okay? The next one is Planet Mojo. This one I joined recently in Planet Mojo. Once again, the instructions are you go over to Mojo Forge, you sign up, you create your Forge account, you connect your X wallet. Remember, everything requires an X account. I know some of you, actually, you know what? I'll talk about that after, but X account is required. Once you do that, you go on Mojo, and every day you have new tasks. So I've got to go here and do this stuff right now. And what'll happen is, I mentioned before, like, some of these protocols, they will favor you if you have more followers. So if you got 50 to 100K followers, you get an 8X multiplier, right? You only get a 1X multiplier if you have below 10K followers. So like I myself having 2,300 or 2,200 followers doesn't really do much for me here. This is why it's so important to have a strategy, reaching out and also engaging with others. So you want to go in here and you just want to do these things. When you do them, basically they'll come and give you this sort of check mark and kind of give you the points, right? So go in here every single day at 12 a.m. UTC. It updates, and right now you get an additional 2x social airdrop multiplier on all activities. So make sure you do this, get your points up. You got some time, why not do it? Another one, this one I'm not the biggest fan of. I think this is my least favorite. It's called Overt Trip. Another protocol, so $trip. You go on here, you can tag play Overt Trip. Here you will get, for some reason it's not showing missions. Oh, now it is. But basically you go in here and you do missions. There's a bunch more missions that I had. And here basically you just mention trip or play Overt Trip and you get those points. Once again, referrals work here as well. So when you invite, you just get, like, I think I've invited 66 accounts, 59 of which are active Web3 Secret Society people for the most part. But hey, it's interesting, and it'll help you earn points. It says 0 here for my points right now. I think this is inaccurate, or at least I hope it is. But you can also see here, I use my burner account. Now, let's talk about strategy. So I see Mickey and Oolong are in here. I know it's late for people, so hey, welcome. Number one, when you're doing this, you want to be careful that you don't just go wild. Twitter has things in place to prevent botting. So if you start just posting a bunch of tickers, a bunch of like random stuff, not people, but the system might end up blocking you or doing something. So the first thing I would say is it might be worthwhile to look into X Premium. I know people make fun of people who have the check mark. Hey guys, I got the check mark. I like it. yes, it's a bit of a vanity thing, but I also wanted access to their services. I also believe in paying for services that you use regularly. So I'm okay doing that as well, right? You guys know, like I do post a bunch on Twitter. I've been a lot more active recently, especially because of crypto. But I do think that it is worthwhile. That's number one. Number two, regardless of whether or not you're doing SocialFi, I think it's very important that you have a brand. Now, I think every single one of you, it doesn't matter if you think social media is stupid, if you think it's lame, if you think it's a fad. The reality is we are moving more and more to this like digital world. In a digital world like this, your online presence is critical. So I think it's super important for you if you want to take this seriously. Right? Crypto is one aspect of Web3, but having an online footprint is so important. Whether or not you're like public, like I'm okay like sharing my face, I got no problem with it. You can hide your face, you can do all that stuff, but you do want to build a footprint. I see so much in the last 10 years how if you look at like models, they only look at, for example, people with blue check mark on Instagram. That's who they want in their DMs because it, at least on Instagram or some platforms, they still they're only relative to high status. Sometimes they'll look at like subscriber counts, follower counts, right? Looking at ratios to make sure like you got way more people following you than you're following, right? There's a lot of vanity metrics that are out there. We're just in a very superficial world, and also like you want to have a brand that you associate with. So whether or not you do SocialFi, I think it's a miss if you don't have the social media accounts. You don't need to be super active on a ton of them, but make sure you get them to age somewhat. This will help you with other things too, like Gitcoin Passport, where like it looks at how long your LinkedIn account has been open, how long your Twitter has been open. Do these things now for your future. And the SocialFi piece will also help you out because part of what happens with SocialFi is if you post a lot of these tickers, people who want to like, retweet, comment, whatever, they will follow you so that they can see yours more often and comment and do all this stuff so they get more points. So there's really two different ways I would go about this, right? If when you're sort of in SocialFi, and I want to keep this video short, every day. I didn't post it yesterday because I went out, got partying super late, didn't wake up in time. But I will post something like this. I will say, hey, just I'll make a comment around the social campaign. I'll say something, get people, hey, engage with this post, like, follow, and retweet, and I'll do the same. I'll tag the thing, and I will tag either an image or something relative news, so people will come and engage, right? So you see 50 retweets, 62 likes, 45 comments, right? And if you look down, you can see this all here, right? Not that many parent points. Help me get this number up. I'll do the same, right? So you got this right here. Now, obviously, one of the things you want to do. Oh, by the way, don't worry about this one. But and also one more thing you can do. So this one is here. This one is about like a project that I really don't like because of what they did. But you see, when you're posting alpha or whatever, you can also add the ticker here because people will like and stuff on top of it. You get views. So you see somebody who had bookmarked it too. So just feel free to do that stuff, but don't just like make a post and just blur out a ton of don't just make posts where you blur out just a ton of tickers and then and that's it, because then that's spam, right? An example I'll give you that's probably the closest is, you see this? I made a comment about join everywhere, and then I put all the tickers of all the other ones together, right? So just try to be a little more like thoughtful around how you post things. Also, when you do these things, I think it's very important that you go and you actually respond to the people who do it. So you see, I see oolongs in the chat here, but we're gonna do it. Like, so I'll put a comment here. Hope we all earn some block right here, and then we can get block games, right? So like this. That's not spam. Obviously, like, and I hit like over here. So we got this right there. That's some more points. We got this post here. It's more points. This is how you do it. One of the things I hate is there are a ton of people. Like if I go to my homepage, let's gonna show 140 posts. I'm gonna see a ton of people posting about block and whatever. And a lot of them will just like, see, look at this. So nothing wrong against Wendy, right? She's good. But like She's doing it a very smart way. She got 330K points, but she's like massive, right? She's got a ton of followers, 35K followers, right? So it's got a ton. There are certain people like Joshy and Hawkage who will say like do all this stuff. Like I've never seen Joshy, at least yet. And Josh, if you watch this, no shade here, but maybe I've missed it. I haven't seen him actually like go and like a comment. I've liked every one of his posts, or most of them. I've commented on almost every one of them that I've seen. Never once has he liked a single thing I've done. But he says he will. He always says he will. And maybe it's just a reality. Hey, he's got way too many people responding to him, so he doesn't do it, right? But for me, I will literally go through my notifications and I will make sure every single person who commented on my post will get it. So guys, if you want to get these points, you can obviously I hope you follow me, but like I will make sure that I literally go through my notification. I spend an hour. I'm going to do it after this video, going through, liking, commenting, and everything, making sure that, I respond to your posts, so that we both get the points and everything else, right? So, I think that's very important. The other thing that's very important is it is such a good strategy to go for smaller creators because they will engage with you more because they want points more often as well. So, the way I sort of see this is while the bigger creators have higher boosts, they typically won't comment, do all that stuff with you. They'll say all this stuff because they want to farm off you. But they typically either they don't have the time to go through all the replies because they got like 500 to 1,000. I got like 50 to 100, right? So it's probably easier for me. But still, like, why even say this stuff? When you say these things and you never follow through, it makes it very clear that you're literally trying to take advantage of people, right? And hey, it doesn't matter, right? Like they can do whatever they want to, right? Not saying anything bad against it. But this is also why I think if you find smaller people, smaller creators, smaller people with less following, they're much more likely to sort of do all the stuff back, right? So like I said, guys, I will, if you comment, post, whatever, and you tag me or you sort of respond to one of my things, I will do the same thing for you. There's also a ton of other kind of SocialFi projects out there, and like there's like one called Cookie. The reality is just so many to get on. Probably when block is done, I'll rotate out and go to another one, but I just wanted you guys to get an idea of the sort of strategy that you got to employ, because the reality is this is so much free money out there. I think in 6 months, people are going to look back at this and going, man, I wish I did these, because the ones that come out in the future, they're going to be so heavily diluted. How many of these can come out, give a ton of money, and not have people just go nuts so on it? I can't imagine that these aren't super bought and super farmed and everything else like that in the future. So we don't have much time. This is one of those things where like, now we look back and go, oh, I wish I joined these free test nets and signed up for these discords, because Optimism would give you like $5,000 for putting your name into a form. You got $5,000 for doing that. The time for that is over. Now everyone goes nuts whenever this stuff comes out, and you get nothing for it. SocialFi is that opportunity right now. And I think we've got like maybe a month or two max left on this before we get super diluted, because like I said, there haven't been enough sort of proof points, but now we're seeing so many come out, and like, come on, how often or how much can this get away from us? Also, I think, once again, I think this is great for all of you just to get your social media and sort of social presence out there. I see you guys posting in the comments about, or in the chat right now around, following me, commenting. I'll do all that stuff after as well. Thank you guys. I'm here to support you guys as well. We can really get the bag here. You know what I mean? We can really get this big bag here. So I really hope you found this video helpful. I really hope that you will consider looking into all of these SocialFi campaigns. There's going to be much more of them. Remember, guys, don't be disheartened if you don't get that big of an allocation, because remember, you guys are just starting out. I want this to sort of be motivation for you guys to keep building your online presence, because this truly is what you've got to do. That's the number one thing I think that you can do in Web3 outside of building your crypto portfolio. You can leverage that in the future. It's what's going to get you networking opportunity. It's so important. And once you have that, your word and sort of your brand means so much. And this is why, guys, you'll never see me accept these bullshit offers, these promotional things that put my following, put my YouTube brand, all these things like where, I put you guys at jeopardy because my brand means a lot. And I also, would never stand for that kind of stuff. So with that being said, I want to thank you guys all for watching. Thank you so much. We want to get to 10K subscribers. I'm like, what am I, like 50, 60 subscribers away? Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Always appreciate that. Like and share the video. I'll be on later tomorrow. I'm going to make another video on another LRT protocol. Make sure you check out the Layer 3 Cube airdrop campaign. I think it's a banger. Get started. You got like less than 5 weeks left. So with that being said, I want to thank you all for watching. You already know, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.